Oh, hello. How you going? I'm Tim from Tim's PC, and I build custom PCs to suit anyone's needs or budget. Also, live stream my builds and repairs for transparency and educational purposes. So if you'd like to get an awesome new PC and you'd like to see it get put together live, send me a message today. Alright, so feeling a bit last few days, to be honest. I don't know, it's just that cooler weather going around. But anyway, I'm back up to 100% and we've got another PC to build. So all these tax time PC builds coming through. I don't think we've seen the last of them. I think there's still some more to come. So yeah, happy days. Be seeing me here assembling some more PCs. So what have we got tonight? Tonight we have ourselves an RTX 4070 Ti rig. Yes. So 4070 Ti, they're starting to run out of stock, and when they're out of stock, you're only going to be able to buy the 4070 Ti Super, which is more expensive and doesn't give you that much more performance. So the 4070 Ti was the price of performance king. I have a... You're right. I'm so sorry about that. Christine has the fire going. We've got a fireplace here, and I thought she'd dropped hot coals on the floor or something like that, but no, she's okay. She just gets a bit vocal sometimes. She just told me to shut up. Okay. So what do we got tonight? 4070 Ti rig. Like I was saying, it's the price of performance king, so it's an excellent graphics card. We've done a whole heap of builds with it. So yeah, but like I said, they're starting to run out of stock, and Nvidia have only been shipping the 4070 Supers, or at least the retailers and wholesalers in Australia have only been buying the 4070 Ti Supers. So will they come down in price? Who knows? I don't know what the inventory looks like, so that will determine everything. But anyway, tonight we're going to be building Wayne's PC. So let's go through the specs and get right into it. So I've got a 3-pack of fans there to add to the case. We've got the i7-13700KF. It's a, what is this one? Is this the 16 core 24 thread? Let me just make sure that's 100% right. It doesn't say it, but pretty sure 13th and 14th gen. The i7 is a 16 core 24 thread CPU. The i9s are a 24 core 32 thread CPU, just for reference. Now the CPU cores, that's not like the number of cores, that's not like your gaming performance. That's sort of, you know, most people can't really make use of that much processing power. If you're doing like video editing, 3D modeling, various applications and software that fully utilize a high core count CPU. But outside of that, you don't really need massive amounts of cores. The thing that matters most is how strong the CPU is on a on sort of a core by core basis. You really only need sort of around the six sort of cores for gaming these days. Some people say you need 8, but that's only for some of the most CPU intensive games that can make use of multiple CPU threads like that. For most people, it's really just about that core by core performance, and that's where chips like the Ryzen 7800X 3D chips come in. They sort of squeeze the most gaming performance out of it that you can possibly get. But there's nothing wrong with Intel 13th and 14th gen CPUs like what we've got here tonight. So we'll have a look at that one a bit more. So we got a 6200 megahertz CL36, CL36 memory. We got a Crucial P3 2TB NVMe SSD. We've got an MSI B760M Gaming Plus Wi-Fi motherboard. We have the aforementioned RTX 4070 Ti. We have a Thermaltake Smart BX3 750 watt power supply there. So it's a good quality unit with a 5-year warranty on it. We've also got a deep cool cooler, but we're going to swap these fans out for the RGB ones. So we got the good performance pump there. But yeah, we'll have a bit more light on it. So yeah, happy days. Let's get stuck right into it. So starting with our motherboard. It's quite a nice motherboard. Oh, such a nice board. They pretty much all come with built-in I/O shields. This one's got a separate one. And so MSI are sort of, you know, they are famous for motherboards. That is their claim to fame, believe it or not. Some people might, you know, I get asked all the time, is MSI okay? I just sort of smile and just like, yes, MSI's fine, man, it's fine. Anyway, like I said, MSI are famous for their motherboards. They make good graphics cards as well. But like I said, in terms of if I was to give them one shot, one thing to sort of define themselves by, it would definitely be their motherboards. Most people who know the MSI brand would know it because of their motherboard. So that is their claim to fame. Now I had MSI motherboards back before before it was cool, basically, you know, back in the day, man, like 20 years ago. But yeah, back in those ancient times, MSI was like the cheap Chinese knockoff brand. That's what people, you know, in Australia were talking about. Like, no, you need to get ASUS. And you know, here's sort of young me going, I don't know, man. I don't have money to piss away on an ASUS motherboard. You know what I mean?
Some of ASUS's stuff is shit anyway.
Yeah,
like
Christine's been a bit disappointed with ASUS, like modern ASUS products, and I don't blame her. But yeah, back in those days, MSI was that cheap Chinese knockoff brand. But I got one, and that particular board lasted me for about 5 years, and it wasn't dead or anything like that. Nothing was wrong with it. By that point, I just decided to go and build myself a new rig. So at that stage, you know, I was on to another board, and then the next board I got was also an MSI board because it was the best value, and I knew that they made decent motherboards. So I was quite happy with it. And so I went with another one, and then I actually didn't get a new PC for, geez, about 8 years. I ran that single PC. I didn't upgrade or anything. It did everything that I wanted it to. and I had no reason to upgrade. And then yeah, then once again the next motherboard I got also was an MSI motherboard. So just to give you an idea, approx 20 years. And currently I'm rocking an ASRock motherboard, and so is Christine. Christine used to have an Asus board, and I have an Asus board on the test bench. So I have tried to mix things up a little bit, get familiar with some modern different boards, like, you know, ASRock boards and their BIOS and stuff like that. So that's been interesting, but, you know, fundamentally, like I've been saying, MSI are famous for their motherboards, and it's not just because of my history with them. If you go and survey people, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. I just thought I'd share my little story about MSI motherboards for me and my personal PCs over the last 20 years or so. If you scroll through my videos, back when Ryzen 5000 came out, I sold about probably 200 plus MSI B550M Pro VDH Wi-Fi motherboards to people. I've sold hundreds of them. Maybe one has been warranted, maybe two. Out of that many. That's really good, Val. That's a real... Yeah, there are cases where, you know, whole motherboard is kind of faulty. If you wanna know a little trick, go and see how many different BIOS updates there are on a board before you buy it. And I'm not saying this is the be all and end all inside trick or anything like that, but I'm just saying that as a general rule, if they have lots of problems, they have lots of BIOS updates, because they've had to try to fix lots of problems with it. So just be sort of aware of that. How's the fire coming, babe?
Good. I'm not burning the house down, so that's good.
No. I went up in the roof and checked everything out before we started doing fires in here. We've been away for so long. Okay. Is not the pre-applied thermal compound, but the bottom of it is magnetized. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this magic. You've seen me struggle with these things before. Look at this magic. Oh. If I can get my wrist, if I can get my wrist to stop frickin' shaking on me.
Yeah.
Oh man. See, I'm not a surgeon, man. If I had to do surgery on people, man, I'd kill them. But at least I know my limitations. Okay, very good. But yes, it's a simple thing. Couple little magnets down there. It makes a big difference trying to put all that together. So, you know, if you're building a PC for the first time, maybe consider this. Why not use deep cool LT coolers? We got sorry. That's a bad meme joke. It's pretty obscure, but if you know a lot about the Pokemon scene, you might know what I just referenced there. Probably not, and you're probably just going to be like, what the fuck's this guy crapping on about? Fucking Pokemon. That's all good. Just take my word for it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's pretty funny. You can't just see one meme though. You gotta see this whole series of fucking things. All right. Okay. So it's basically going to sit like this in the case. So we want our cables down here. So I'm not going to use these fans. I'll use these fans for something else. They are good quality fans that come with it. High static pressure fans. And if you're looking at them going, oh, these look kind of familiar, kind of similar, you'd be right. These are the RGB versions. All right, so one's going to go on the back, and two are going to go over here. So yeah. All right, so these just daisy chain up. It's a relatively simple process. The dog's scared of stepping over the vacuum cleaner.
She jumped over it.
Oh, she did? Progress. Dogs are scared by the weirdest shit, eh? Mm-hmm. Like things that they shouldn't be scared of, they're scared of. Who's that?
Damon.
Hey man, how you going? Good to have you with us. actually. Okay. Alright, so that's all set up over there. Now we can turn our attention to the case.
And since by the way, no, I got pizza tonight.
Ha! Pizza! Hell yeah.
Pizza, pizza. Pizza, pizza.
I haven't done anything to your chair.
My armrest is sticking out to the side.
Oh.
That's you. Fucking around with my chair.
I wasn't fucking around with it. I was just moving. Your chair responded to me. I wasn't consciously doing anything to your chair. What do you think this is? I think I'm out there fucking with a chair on purpose or something. What?
It's stuck pointing outwards now.
I'll fix it later.
Yeah. I'll break your chair.
You won't break my chair, man. My chair is solid. Okay. Alright, so we need to put a few different offsets in here for our motherboard. Unfortunately, a lot of cases just ship with the six offsets, and unfortunately, most motherboards that people buy and want to put in here will either have the 8 offset design or a 9 offset design. So basically it means that everyone who buys most cases has to fuck around with what I'm doing right here. If not, you haven't installed the motherboard correctly. So you need to have all of the correct offsets in place. You can't have the wrong one in place sticking on the back of the motherboard because it can cause a short. You have to be pretty unlucky. Oh, is it?
Should be alright.
Oh, just on your end.
No.
Drop the bitrate.
It's already pretty low. I don't know if I can drop it in.
It's on 3. You can drop it to 2.5.
Seems fine.
Network stability was okay. That's why I left it as it was.
That's pretty cool little board.
It's nice, eh?
I like the colouring on it. It goes well with the deep cool cooler.
Yeah. Yeah, it matches nicely, doesn't it? And yes, everyone got to hear my story,
Yeah, I heard.
my MSI story.
Nobody cares.
Yep. No, but I couldn't think of a better endorsement for MSI's motherboards than my little story there from my own personal experience. And the thing is now MSI motherboards are a bit more expensive. They're generally not the cheapest option in the market. And that's because they built their brand and they've got people like me who will tell stories of their greatness with motherboards. So good for them. They do still have really budget options, but yeah, if you want something mid-range, Asus and Gigabyte are out competing them in the mid-range. But if you've got the budget and you're looking at a Gigabyte board and as an MSI one there for like, you know, 40 bucks more or something like that, and you've got the money, trust me, compared to Asus, Gigabyte and ASRock, you're much less likely, I should say, to have some sort of like major problem with the board or some sort of compatibility problem with the board. Now, I'm not saying there's no such thing as an MSI motherboard that's not compatible with something, blah 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 blah. Take case here, and we got a Thermaltake power supply. Once again, these are two products from a company that and the things that they're kind of famous for: the power supplies and their cases. So Thermaltake have a long history in the power supply game. I think they go back, pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they go all the way back to the mid-90s. And that was buyers quality. But yeah, you still gotta be careful. You gotta know what you're buying. Yes, cool. But yes, remember with probably some more compelling options there from Corsair, Lian Li, even Thermaltake, perhaps depends on your style. Problem with Thermaltake is they don't offer the same warranty on their coolers that Lian Li and Corsair do. Like an LED, is independently addressable.
Doing that thing again.
Yeah, can you do the thing?
Yeah, hang on a second.
Okay. Okay.
So cool.
What's that?
Davins as well, so cool.
Hey man, how you going? Glad you like it.
Majestic. So is that a cake decorating turntable? Yes.
Haha, it is.
Lazy Susan.
Hey, you recognised specifically what it was. So kudos to you. Are you a baker?
This lazy Susan's never seen a cake.
No,
All
no.
it sees is PCs.
Yeah. Is a PC a type of cake?
No. Can't eat it. I guess you could make a cake that looks like a PC. That'd be pretty cool.
Okay, so with our CPU cable, we split one of them. And now we got the 12 pins there for our CPU. And so with that one cable tie, we make it all look like it's just one cable. There we go. Very good. So always remember to plug in anything that you need to plug in up the top before you put your cooler in. Especially important in a case like this, because there's not a lot of room at the top. It's going to be a very tight fit. So I need to plug this cable. There we go. Oh, true. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Okay. So like I said, very tight fit. There's not any room to spare, but it's just the right size. But it's very, very close. And this is one of the things that can get a bit dicey when you go to build your own PC if you don't have any experience building a PC, unless you're really, really thorough. You check all of the dimensions and clearances and stuff like that. Even when you do check them, you'll still sometimes fuck it up. That's just human nature. We'll drop the position of this fan by what, 1 centimeter? Alright, very cool. Alright. Okay, so we can separate what we need from what we don't need. Yes. Okay, so you can see what we're up to here. So, got our RGB daisy chain here. Got everything all hooked up. Alright, and that's everything connected to the deep cool side of things. Alright, so this is all of our RGB cables here. We'll group them all together and they just sit like that. Alrighty, so we got 3 DC fans, and we've got our, they are also DC. Okay. Alright, so we can just route that one behind the board there. Alright, and then all the fans there can all get tied up together. So RGB, fans, and then we just got, this is our power switch and reset button and the little LEDs up the top there.
Tim,
Yeah.
Max says evening, so does Ledios.
Hey Max, hey Ledios, how you guys going? Good to have you here as always. Been talking about MSI motherboards. I was saying that the short story is I bought one for the first time about 20 years ago. And everyone told me, oh, that's that cheap Chinese knockoff brand, mate. You don't want to buy any of that stuff. And I went, but I don't have the extra money to put into a PC because I'm basically a kid. So I went and bought the MSI motherboard, and I had it for about 5 years. Then I bought another motherboard and upgraded my system, and there's nothing wrong with the old one, it was just old. Got myself a new one, and then I had that one for about 8 years. And then I got another motherboard, and it was also MSI. And now I've got an ASRock board just for something different. I've got an Asus board on the test bench. So everyone's getting some love. Okay. Okay. Just that. Graphics card. Alright, mate. Here's a good one.
Dishwasher's done.
Okay.
Bloody hell. This fire's really hot.
Yeah. Like I said, that iron bark, that really dry iron bark wood that I cut,
Yeah.
that is really energy dense. So you'll get a lot of heat off that and it will last for a long time. I've got 3 acres of what was pasture with like 8-year-old trees growing everywhere and dead wood from trees that were already there that have died. And so basically every day I get out there with the chainsaw and cut some more. And that process is going to go on for months and months and months and months. So if you want any wood, yeah, come around. Come around, bring your ute, bring your chainsaw. Sorry, don't mind me, I'm just making a cable with the extender. Just to keep it neat, I always do this. A little bit of cable work. Okay. So, there we go. Yep, good contact. Beauty. Yep. Graphics card clicked in. Graphics card. Graphics card clicked in place. You bastard.
Oh, shit, my hip.
Very good. Okay. Sweet as. Don't worry, I've still got a few bolts to put in up there. So, look, let's see if she actually works, because, you know, it's one thing to put it together. It's another thing for it to work. Now, when I make this joke, I'm like, oh, have I put it together right? Blah, 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 blah. When I make that joke and I'm like, oh, is it going to work? It's a bit of a joke. I know I've put it together right. That's not the bit in question. It's whether there's a fault with any of the hardware, and is it going to actually turn on for me and do its thing. I don't know. I don't know until I actually hit that button. So okay. Boo. Boo to you too. Did you get the BIOS?
Yeah, I downloaded it.
Oh.
I would put it on the USB now.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
That's alright.
Now you can have buttons.
Okay. So as we can see here with this motherboard, we're moving from the original to version 3. So there's only been a few different updates for this board. But like I said, that's not the be all and end all. Not every board that has a lot of BIOS updates is a faulty bad board or anything like that. It's just one. It's just one little thing that you might want to keep in the back of your head when choosing a motherboard. It's a bit of a. It's like a meter stick. You know, it's sort of one of those things that you can use to sort of measure things against. Now, if you want to know, like, what the other side of that would be, and that is reading reviews on the particular board. Do people like it? What problems do people have with it? Okay. So we of course have a water cooler. I can't see it. Okay, hardware monitor. That's where we find our fan settings. Alright, so that's the pump. Just want the pump to run at full speed. DC smart fan. And there we go. Alrighty. That is nice and quiet. So you might be looking at that PWM, DC, what is all this shit? So look, PWM is when you've got the 4 pins, DC is when you have the 3 pins. That's really all you need to know about it without getting into a full discussion about what pulse width modulation or PWM means and is, and because you can go and look that up and study the physics of that. All right. Oh, sorry about that. Alright. Don't worry, it doesn't take several minutes. This might take several seconds. Okay, so we can start setting up our PC. Got our NVIDIA drivers there. Okay, so that's our graphics driver there. Alright, so I've got a LAN cable plugged in now, and we'll go through fucks up like that. It's conflicting with something else going on in the background. Alright, I can set up MSI Afterburner here quickly. Alright, set up our on-screen display here.
What's rubbish?
Jeez, lots of fucking... Bloody hell. I just want the drivers, guys. Okay, I think I've got everything I need from in there. Update the store. That's all doing its thing. Okay, let's have a look at some gaming benchmarks. So we'll do heaven here. High, no anti-aliasing. So we've got our GPU up the top here. Temperature, usage, clock speed, wattage. We've got our VRAM, usage and clock speed. We've got our CPU, temperature, usage, clock speed and wattage. And we've got our RAM usage, and this number below RAM, that's how many frames per second it's currently running at. Sorry about that. Spends a lot of time above 500 frames a second. Heaven's not too demanding, but gives it a go. The higher frame rate puts a bit more stress on the CPU as well. Hit 700 there. Okay, so that was Heaven there on high, no anti-aliasing. Okay, so we'll do Valley here on Ultra, max anti-aliasing. Valley's more demanding, and it's running on higher settings. Small dog. Very small and very dog. Aren't ya? Alrighty, so that was Heaven there on high with no anti-aliasing. Sorry, not Heaven. Oh, I say the same thing all the time. That was Valley there on ultra with max anti-aliasing. You can tell I'm getting tired. Wants to do a restart, we'll just restart it now. And then finally we'll do superposition, and then that'll pretty much be it. I'll start doing the stress test on it. Okay, so
Majestic wants to know, is that the FPS under the brand? Yes, it is.
yep, that's the FPS.
Princess World wants to know, is 4070 PNY any good?
Yeah, nothing wrong with PNY. Yeah, I've sold heaps of PNY graphics cards. I don't think I've got a box behind me though. They don't have the fanciest box, but for a value card, they're good. Very little returns. That's the big thing that I sort of care about. Everything's got a non-zero failure rate, so a couple of failures, that's okay. But it's when it's like multiples and different products that speaks volumes. Oh, I just remembered a couple of things that weren't done. Epic didn't want to install. It was conflicting with something in the background. And we got a Intel K series i7 or i9, so we need to install XTU, and we need to make sure that it's doing its thing. Because remember, there could be a situation where our CPU might run very, very warm.
Says I got a new PC with a Ryzen 7800X3D with a 4070 Super PMI. It's been pretty good. They say it comes overclocked.
Oh, I need a new version of XTU. Okay.
Did you hear what I said?
Sorry, what did you say?
Princess Rose says I got a new PC with a Ryzen 7800X3D with a 4070 Super PMI. It's been pretty good. They say it comes overclocked.
Yeah. Overclocked's kind of lost all its meaning these days.
Pretty much every graphic.
They put the
graphics
OC
card
down
says
there
OC.
and gets people, wetting their knickers and stuff.
Pretty much.
Oh, I did fucking click on that. I am getting tired. Probably wants me to restart before I use the app. Silly thing. Okay, let's just run superposition now while we wait. Oh.
Princess Rose says it got me. Let's say, do you sell these PCs? Yes.
Yeah.
Every PC built here is a customer.
Yeah,
PC.
I don't just like put PCs together and like just for the hell of it or anything. I'm not that lucky. People don't give me stuff. Alrighty, so this one here is 4K benchmark. So it's 4K on fairly low settings. And so as we can see there, limited CPU usage and our graphics card is pegged at 99% there. This is what it looks like when you're not having any significant CPU bottleneck.
Lady else says, really? I thought you just buy a bunch of parts and build to pass the time.
Oh man, I wish. I'm sure there's YouTubers that are out there that can do that with their, fucking 1,000,000+ followers and 100,000 people viewing their stuff for hours every day, raking in the moolah. Unfortunately, I don't get anything like that.
Princess Will wants to know how hot should GPU be? I get 75 degrees. Is that too high?
That's fine. 83, low 80s is when you're sort of a little bit too hot for a graphics card. But
like the GPU's getting to 70 degrees now.
yep,
That's
you can
fine.
try putting in a custom fan curve on your fans. Get them ramping up to 100% at a slightly lower temperature. It might make a little bit of a difference, but I wouldn't worry too much about that, to be honest. 60 to 75 degrees, that's like the normal operating temperature. You start going over 75 up towards 80, that's where it's starting to get a little bit warm. Once you hit 80, that's when you've hit, think of like a car tack on. Ugh. I'm just going to call it a taco instead of fucking the word up again for the third time. The RPM on your engine, you're pushing it into the red zone. Yeah, that's what over 80 degrees is. It's starting to get into the red zone there.
She says mine says it's liquid cooled. I was just curious about. I was curious, new to PC.
Yeah, no, that's. I mean, they get fairly warm. I mean, there's quite a lot of power running through them. As you can see there on the screen, there's 250 watts running through the graphics card and only 30 watts running through the CPU. So you can see where all the power's going. Okay, that's all looking good. And that's pretty much going to be it. I'm going to be able to start the stress test on it now, and yeah, that's where we'll leave it. But what we'll do, I'll make sure that the temperatures are running right. Because what we've had to do with a few of the Intel chips is we've had to put in a custom power profile, basically an undervolt profile for the CPU, because both manufacturers are guilty of this. They're engaged in a giant pissing contest on trying to fucking get the best results on a benchmark, essentially, because that's what sells CPUs in this day and age.
Thank you.
Oh, you're right. Okay. Alright, so first thing we do when we have a look at our Intel K series is we want to have a look at the CPUs, the stress results. So I'm going to click on stress, and we're gonna look over here, and we're gonna see what we see. So if it's tuned correctly, and the BIOS update from the motherboard sort of helps to settle down these CPUs, we should see temperatures in the 70s, maybe the 80s. So let's see. 92, 95, 96. So all they've done is move the thermal throttle down to 95 degrees. We've still got 215 watts running through the CPU. So that's kind of bullshit. It's going to be okay for gaming, but if we want to do anything other than gaming, we might want to settle that the fuck down. Okay. Honestly, 190. Let's have a look at 190. All right, so. So we're getting quite up. Let's just drop it down to 185. Let's drop it down. I'd like to see it in the 70s. Each chip will have slightly different thermal responses here, so you'll have to play around with your own. So I haven't dropped much in performance. This just shows how the ridiculous amount of power that they push through these CPUs. 165. Let's see how that's looking. Still fairly warm, but we've come down. We've come down at least another 5 degrees. Holding that number pretty nicely. See if we can drop it down a little bit further. Hit the sweet spot where we drop down the temps. This is the easiest way of doing it. There we go. High 70s. Still good results. See, it's a trade-off between the power that you push through it and the final number, but honestly for most people having the CPU run 20-30 degrees cooler is worth losing a couple of percent on your multi-core performance. There we go, mid-70s with CPU-Z. That looks pretty good. We'll leave it at that. 150 watt maximum. We're going to go and save that.
Princess Willis just checked out your Facebook page. Good stuff.
Ah, thanks, man. Alrighty. So there it is. All you need to do is go into XTU, click on this, click Show Values, and then click Apply, and it will automatically do this. And you can play around with this. You can cut down the wattage even further. I don't recommend cutting it down too much further than 150. You might run into instability issues. Alright. So that's all good. End of the night. Alright, so we set this up to run for 90 minutes. There we go. Look at that. The temperature's looking good. Got that graphics card handling firm arc. Yeah, nice. Sweet as. So we let these run under load for 90 minutes. Just get everything nice and warm in there. Make sure nothing's overheating once it's been running for a while. But yes, CPU much better behaved, so yeah, I would not worry about the percent or two that you lose in performance. I would be looking at the 20 degrees cooler or so that it's running right now, and how that might give you a bit more longevity of your system. So yeah, happy days. Alrighty, so yeah, I'm just going to let this one run for 90 minutes there in the background. I'm going to go get some dinner. So look, thanks everyone for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you all in the next video.